Good day, everyone. You're welcome. My name is Temitope Ojo. Um, I'll be taking you through SD-WAN journey, which we've started already. And this is the second series of it. And if you have not watched the first series, which we discussed about SD-WAN overview, kindly go back and go and watch it. So for the second series, we'll be looking at setting up of SD-WAN certificates on Cisco controllers, on SD-WAN controllers. We'll be looking at how we can set up certificates on all SD-WAN controllers, the three of them, the vManage, the vSmart, and the vBond. And I'm very sure that if you pay attention, by the end of this second series, you will surely know how to set it up conveniently on FNG and Pnet. This will help you. We are open for review. Check all our social media platform and reach out to us on Gmail too. We'll be available to answer all your questions. Thank you very much. God bless. This we have discussed earlier, talking about the vManage. You can see our vManage. This is vBond. This is vSmart. I connected them together with a switch, and they are on the same network. If you look at this network address, it's 192.168.100.0/24. That's my network address, where my vManage is 192.168.100.1, vBoard is 192.168.100.2, vSmart is 192.168.100.3. So they belong to the same network. That shows that connecting them with switch, be able to reach each other. Let me power on other devices. Let me power on the switch, power on the vBond, and power on the vSmart too. So before we go into that, let me quickly show you. This is the lab topology. I'll be sharing this PDF on my YouTube link, and this is the configuration that will be done on the vManage. On the vManage, I'm going to configure this is the host name I'm going to give it. This is the system IP I want to use. This is the site ID. This is the organization name I want to use. And the time zone is Africa/Lagos. I will correct this. It's Africa/Lagos. Then the vBond IP is 192.168.100.2. Earlier I told you that the vBond is .2. That this is 192.168.100.2. So looking at the lab, okay, let me log into the vManage and let's see what we have here. Logging into the vManage. The default username is admin. The password is admin. Then because I've not configured anything on this vManage, it's going to ask me to reset my password. I must set an initial admin password. So in this case, you choose any password you like. For me, I'm choosing admin, repeating the same password. So you have the option of selecting any password you want. So select the storage device to use. For the storage device, I'll be using VDB. Why VDB? VDB is let me quickly show you what VDB is. It's virtual block device. So we use it in virtual machine for storage. And VD stand for visual disk. We generally use it for KVM and kernel virtualization environments. Are more efficient. It's more efficient than the older version. The old version is HDC. So that's one of the reasons the VDB is actually recommended in these deployments, because the VDB is the latest version. That's what we are going to have a better performance. So let me go back to the lab. Good. So I'm going to VDB is 1. So I'm going to select 1. Would you like to format VDB? Then I will say yes. We would like to format it. Then we give it some time for the configuration for the setup to complete. Okay, while this setup is going on, let's look at what we have on our VBond. On our VBond, the default username is admin, default password too is admin. And it will ask you to set initial admin password. So it does like I told you, you use any password you like. So looking at, do you notice something? For this VBond, can you see it's giving it V8 name? Yeah, because the V8 and VBond, they are using the same image. So that is why you are seeing that. Let's look at the vSmart. Let's check whether our vSmart is ready. I'll check whether our vSmart is ready. For vSmart, the same process, admin, then you set your password, which I'm setting. So I've set password for all the controllers. So I'm now looking at having connectivity. But before we do that, let's look at, do we have initial configuration of vSmart? So you can do show run, show your normal show running config on a Cisco router. Let's see what we have for vSmart. Look at what we have. So this is all the configuration of it. So you can see that under your system, the host name is still normal vSmart, meaning that we've not done any configuration of this router. You can see VPN 512 and VPN 0, there's no configuration on it. So same apply on our VBond. If you do your show running config, same thing applies. You can see that the system is still using system host name is still VH. You can see the VBond showing ztp.vipteller.com as the VBond IP address. So let's see how far our vmanage has gone. Is it ready? Let's check whether it's ready. In this case, I have to use the configure password. It's not ready. That's why we are having the authentication to fail. So let's wait for it to be ready. Once it's ready, it's going to tell us. So we are going to wait for wow, massive. So it's ready. Let's test it now. It's ready. Wow. Okay, good. So our vmanage is ready. So the first thing we are going to do is to configure system. We are going to configure system. System is a process on the vmanage. The first process that has to do with our host name, the basic things that we need to configure it's more like a system configuration. Let me use that word. The basic system configuration that we need to configure on the vmanage. So for us to check, you say show run system. Okay, one good thing I love about vmanage or vipteller is because everything is running in processes in hierarchy. So you can actually share system, you can check VPN 0 separately, you can check VPN 512 separately. So everything is structured, is in hierarchy. So I think that's one good thing I love. So when you want to do your show running config, you can check, this is the particular process I want to see. So you don't need to do show running config for all the configuration like we have in the iOS. It's just like the replica of what we have here is more like what we have in iOS XR. If you are using iOS XR before, for people that works in the Cisco service provider environment, you see something like show running system, show running ISI, something like that. But here, let's see, show running system. This is the whole configuration. So let's dive into our configuration. So for the configuration, the first thing we want to do is we want to configure the system. I'll put this in a notepad. Okay. So you can see, wow, it's duplicating. Um, okay. I noticed that the whole thing is not well arranged. So I'm going to use the notepad. Sorry, I said notepad. I'm going to use the Microsoft Word, the one I have from Microsoft Word. Okay. So I think I will have to let me copy it from here. I'll copy it from here. It's, I'll be using the documentation I have from Microsoft Word. Is this the same thing? So I'll be switching between the two anyway. So looking at this, we go to your configurations. We go to, okay, I'm configuring the vim manage now. Please, let's follow. So I'm on config T. So from config T, you type system. So I'm under the system process. So you pass under this system, you can say show full configuration to see all your configuration. Okay, so let me go ahead. I will copy from the host name. The host name is vmanage underscore the best underscore tech. The system IP is 1.1.1. The site ID we'll be using is 10 for all our controllers. Please let's take notes. Why the organization name is the best underscore tech. The clock is Africa slash Lagos. Africa slash Lagos. Why the V bond is 192.168.100.2. So then, um to make it easy for the sake of everyone, what I will do, I'm not going to copy everything and paste. I will just do it one by one for you to see. Then the next controller, maybe Bismart and Vbond, I will copy and paste, but just for you to have to know that okay, you can actually do this yourself. Underscore, I'm using the best underscore tech. Tech. That is the host name. Then the system IP is 1.1.1.1. Then the site ID is 10. The organization name is the best underscore tech. The clock time zone. So I want to show you something in the clock time zone. And then that's one of the reasons actually want to do it one by one. That's question mark. You can see. So you have the option of defining the any time zone you want. And the time zone is it captures a lot. Any continent you are, the location you are in that continent. So for me, I'm in Africa and I'm in Lagos. I'm in Africa and under the Africa, you can see different option. So for me, I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. So which really capture my location. So I love that. Then the V bond, I'll copy and paste the V bond, which is 100.2. I'll copy. Okay, then I'll save. I will save. Okay. So let's do that. So let's check our configuration by essential run system. So you can see everything we have configured. The host name is now vmanage the best underscore tech. The system IP is 1.1. The site ID has been configured. The organization name is the best underscore tech. While the clock time zone is Africa/Lagos. The VBond is 192.168.100.2. That's the VBond IP address. So my vmanage has been configured. So yeah, my vmanage system has been configured. So the next thing I need to configure now is VPN0. No, when we for our configuration, when we're doing our configuration, I told you that VPN0 is for transports. VPN0 is for transports. So you configure VPN0 as per interface information, which is IP address is 192.168.100.1 is for the ETA0. So for my VPN0, that is where I'm going to configure the IP address. That's where we have the IP address. Let's go into that. So that one too, I don't want to copy it. I will do it one by one for the vmanage. So I'm going to go to config T. So here, the next thing we are going to do is VPN0. So it means that every configuration we want to do is under this VPN0 process. And for the VPN0, you can see this is what we have there by default. So I'm going to specify the interface. The interface is ETA0. It's based on my lab. Look at it. I'm actually using ETH0 based on my lab. So you can see that you can see the interface ETH0. Then the next thing is to configure the IP address. Need to say IP address 192.168.100.1. So I can use CIDR mask, which is /24. Instead of typing the full subnet mask, then you press enter. So that goes for the IP address for VPN0. And I'm going to specify the tunnel interface. It's good you specify the tunnel interface because at the end of the day, that's what will allow our VPN, our DTLS tunnel to come up. If we did not specify this tunnel interface, it won't come up. So I will go to specify the tunnel interface. I'll press enter. Then the next thing is I'm going to allow services. So for these services, I can actually specify the services I want to allow. This is for security purpose, DNS, HTTP, ICMP, NetConf, NTP. But for this lab, we are going to allow all traffic. I'm going to allow all traffic just for the purpose of this lab. Then I'm allowing all services, all traffic. Then let's look at the next thing. I think we are done with this config. Then no shutdown. Go to more, no shutdown. So at this stage, I would like to commit so that if I make any mistake, I can quickly go back. Oh, good. You did not make any mistake. If you made mistake, maybe process of assigning the IP is not under the normal structure, you are going to see an error. So hopefully we see something related by the time we finish our configuration. So I need, after I've configured the IP address on the VPN0, then I have to configure the route. I have to configure the route for this. So the route will not be configured on the interface. We're already on the interface. So we have to go back to okay. we're able to go back to VPN 0. So for the VPN 0, this is where we are going to configure our static routes. So it's say, okay, a static route going to anywhere, use. So this guy is that I'll be serving as our gateway 192.168.100.254. We use 192.168.100.254. Then we commit. So 192.168.100.254 is our gateway. Let's check the topology. Core router is the IP address. You can see 254. The IP address on this core router, it will be our gateway. Okay. Then let's commit. So good. We've done the configuration on the vmanage. So let's check what we have for VPN 0. So from here, you can say show full configuration. So under VPN 0, so instead of going back to privileged mode and say show ROM VPN 0, under the process itself, you can just say show full configuration. You can see it's showing us the IP address that we configured, and it's showing us the static routes, because in this configuration we'll be using static routes. It's just a small lab, so we'll be using static routes. We can use other routing protocol anyway, but in this case we'll be using static routes. So you can see VPN 0 here. These are the full configuration. Let's check all our configuration and let's check whether we did omit anything. So nothing is actually omitted. So let's check the next thing. So the next thing for us is to configure VPN 512. So for VPN 512, let's check what is the interface that we are using for 512 here. So the 512 is for the outbound management. And there's one good thing I did in this lab that I love is I'm using ETH1. I'm connecting it to my LAN, to my local network. So this is actually better because it will make everything to be, I'll be able to manage this network with the help of this on my PC. I'll be able to manage this vmanage with my PC. Another architecture you can have is that you can put a Windows server here so that you'll be able to log into your vmanage. You can connect a Windows server, maybe go to your lab and add the Windows server and put it somewhere there, connect it, let it be on the same network. You have access to your vmanage. But I prefer to use my PC. The reason why I prefer to use my PC is to be easier for me to manage it. To be easier for me to manage it. I won't have cases whereby my server will be crashing, but my PC will not crash. So those are the advantages I have. So that's why I prefer to have it. Then it's faster, as in terms of accessing the URL, everything will load very fast and it's very easy to use. So ETH1 is what we have for our outboard, which is 512. So then 512. I told you that we can only configure 512 and VPN 0 on this device. Okay, let's quickly configure 512. Then I'll try to configure any other VPN and you're going to see the error. So I go to config T. Then let's look at VPN 512. So this is my 512. I'm tempted to copy and paste now, just to make it a bit faster. Let's see. Oh, that was an error. Oh, I've already, okay. Let's do that again. I think I was already on configuration mode, and I paste config T. That's why we have that error. So let me repeat that. So I think it's fine now. Even that one still, I think it still take the configuration anyway. So you can see this guy is configured. But look at what I did. On the ETH1, I'm using 192.168.204.100. 204.100 is on the same network with my IFNG. Now IFNG is 204.134. So this interface, I'm using 204.100 because I'll be able to manage it on my PC, on my LAN. I'll be able to manage it on my LAN. That's the reason I actually put them on the same network. So for that interface, I'm using 204.100. So let's check 512. Let's check the configuration. So you can see the configuration 192.168.204.100/24. And once I've done this configuration, I think I'm through with the basic configuration here. So let me go to, okay, let me quickly show you something. Let me configure a VPN. I want to configure VPN 12. Let's see what will happen. And let's commit. Look at what he's saying. He said that you can only use VPN 0 or 512. So that's what we discussed when we were doing the theory, that we can only configure VPN 0 and 512 on your vManage and vSmart. I only configure VPN 0 and 512. So quickly, let's go to the vBond. Let's go to the vBond. Let's check our configuration for the vBond. Okay. Before we go to the vBond, just following this lab, let's log in. By now, we'll be able to log into vManage, even though we are not through with configuration on the under controllers, but we'll be able to manage it because we have configured the VPN 512. Immediately we configure VPN 512, you'll be able to manage it. Even if that is the only thing you configure, you'll be able to manage it. So let's check 192.168.204.100. Okay, I think I do. Let me check. Grab this load. Okay. The username is admin. And I have my password. Let's log in. Okay. So you can see your vManage. You can see vSmart is 0 because we've not been able to add it. We've not added any VH and we've not added any vBond. The only thing we've added is vManage. And you can see vManage here. So that most things will still be empty now because we are yet to, even under the controller, you can see it's only vManage we have. VH, we don't have anything. So let's go and add our vSmarts. Let's go to back to for topology. Sorry, vBond. Let's go and configure the vBond. For the vBond, let's go. So for the vBond, the host name I want to use is vBond_the_best_10. The system IP is 2.2.2. The site ID I want to use is 10. And the organization name I want to use is the best_tech. And the time zone is Africa. Let me edit that now. Let me edit it. It's Africa/Lagos. I've shown you how to do that. Then vBond IP is 100.2. So this is the configuration. So we copy this configuration, copy it. Before I paste it, let me see how it looks like. Paste. Okay, good. So you can see site ID is 10. One thing that is unique here is the vBond is 100.2. So you are going to specify that it is local and it's vBond only. So you allow the VBond to know that he is the one that is 100.2 by typing local. So I will just copy and paste. So as to save our time, I'll go to my VBond. So that is configure. Then think that is then for VPN 0, I will do, if you look at my VPN 0, my GE 0/0 is 100.2. I'm directing the IP route to the same 100.254, which is our gateway. So it's having this, all of them, all the controller are having the same gateway under the VPN 0 copy. I'm going to do copy that, paste. So that is done. Quickly, I'm going to do the same thing for vSmart. So this is my vSmart. Let's go and check the configuration. Okay. I'm going to be using system IP to be 3.3.3. The site ID is going to be 10. Organization name is thebest.tech. And this one is Africa, Lagos. So this is the configuration. So I'm going to copy this configuration and paste, copy. Yeah, let's make it quickly paste it for this marks. Copy, go to my vSmart and paste. Then I'll copy the VPN 0 and paste. Copy. Okay. So I will paste the vSmart configuration. This is the vSmart. Your system ID for vSmart is 3.3.3. The site ID is 10. Organization name is the same place. Clock time zone must be the same, and your VBond must be the same. One thing that is unique is host name and system IP. Those are the two. We have site ID, organization name, clock, VBond, system IP, host name. Those are the unique that. So I'll copy. That's for my vSmart. For my vSmart, copy that. Then come to VPN 0. VPN 0, the IP I'll be configuring on the interface, VPN 0 is 100.3/24. This is my tunnel interface. I'm going to specify it and allow the service ID. The tunnel interface is very important so that your DTLS tunnels could be born. So I'll copy. Note that the default route is pointing to the same gateway. Copy that and paste on the vSmart. So at this junction, all our configuration are up. Let's check show run VPN 0. So you may want to ask me, I did not configure VPN 512 because I don't really need that. 512 is mostly needed on the vManage. So that is the reason why I'm not configuring 512 on the vSmart. Okay. So let's check our interface. To check interface here, you can just say to interface description. Normal way will be it on a Cisco router. Show interface description. Then you pipe it. They let it be in tabular form. Pipe tab. Let it be in tabular form. So you can see ETH 0 is up and the system is up. Let's check. Let's do the same command on the other guys. Oh, is there any change that I made that I've not saved? Okay. I wanted to configure VPN 512 on vManage, which was rejected. So I said, okay, I can't proceed because of that. So let's check whether our interface is up. So you can see all the interface are all paired. VPN 0 is off. You can see VPN 0 here, this and this, and the operation status is off. So for vmanage, I should be able to ping myself and ping a other guide. So let's do that. 192.168.100.1. That's myself. Let's check. I should be able to ping 100.2 because we are on the same network, so we don't need any routing. So we can reach each other. I can reach vsmart, vbond, and vmanage. We can reach all the controllers. So let's check. Let me go and check whether I have anything that has changed. So I just want to show you that nothing has changed. Even though I can ping vsmart and the vbond on this vmanage, that has not changed anything. Why? Because the DTNS tunnel is not up. So before the DTNS tunnel could be up, we have to do something. That takes us to certificate configuration. Certificate configuration. So in configuring our certificates, the first thing we need to do is we have to generate a private key on our vmanage. So you please just follow this step. I've made everything easy. Certificate is one of the big things that can discourage you from learning SD-WAN, particularly using your own FNJ. But as much as possible, I've simplified it. And I've made everything. I put everything together to make it easy for you. So just follow the step. So the first thing I'm going to do is to generate a key, a root key. So, and for my certificate, what I'll be using is an open SSL. You can use different method to generate to do your certificates on SD-WAN. Some people are using Windows Server to do that. But in our own case, we are going to be using Linux. We are going to be using Linux machine to do that. And all this controller have Linux machine behind it. So in this case, we'll be using our vmanage to generate, to sign and create the certificates and to sign most of the certificates, to sign all the certificates. So there are two things we need to do when we want to do our certificates. The number one thing is we are going to create a root certificate. We'll create a root certificate. Then the second one is we're going to call self-signed, or we call it identity certificates. So those are these two certificates that will be generated as signed before our controllers can come up. So please relax and follow. This is the critical stage if you want to use if engine. Our vmanage, we are going to generate the pen file limits. So we're going to generate two certificates. We are going to create a root certificate, and we are going to create a self-signed, or we call it an identity certificate. So, but for the root certificates, for us to do that, we will log into our vmanage. From our vmanage, we go to the Linux on it. We log into the Linux on it. Let's do that. Let's do that. So let's go to our vmanage. So on the vim manage, for me to access the Linux, I'll type visual. So I'm on visual now. So on this visual, let's check. You can see the only file you can see on this guy is archive ID rc.pub. That's the only file we can see. So the first thing I want to do is to generate the key. Go to my documents, and I'm using OpenSSL just like I told you. So we generate the root CA key. So the key, I'm going to be naming it a root CA. That's the name of my key. So I'll copy it. Come to vmanage. I'll press enter. So it will list. So you can see the key has been generated. So after you have generated the key, okay, before I go into that, okay, I just want to show you that, okay, going back to my privilege mode, if I say show control local properties, okay, so from the control local properties, so you can see that it's going to show all the configuration we have done. Well, it's going to show you the certificate status is not installed. You can see certificates validity is not valid. This and this are not valid. So these are the things we have to correct. All of them, it must be installed and must give us a validity time. It must give us a valid time. So it must give us a valid time. The serial number must be able to generate a serial number for us. So because all this information are important for our DTLS to be called. Because if you say show control connections to check our control planes, it's still down. It's down because the certificates are not installed yet. We've not met the requirements. Okay, just to quickly show you that. So, wow. What did I do? Okay, I have to log in again. What I want to do is to go to my Linux environment again. To go to Linux environment, just type visual, then list. So this is the key I generated earlier. So I'll go to after generating that. So the next thing is to generate a root pen file. How do I generate a root pen file? Using the OpenSSL, using X509. And I'm going to specify the key. This is the key you create. So if you are doing it on your own, please, the name you use, you can use this same name. But if you are using your name, be careful. If you are using any other name, be careful so that you edit it properly. Then I want you to be, I'm using, the authentication I'll be using is SHA-256. That's the authentication I'll be using. Then the numbers of days I want this certificate to be valid is 1024 days. Then for the subjects, you can see under the subjects for the country, C stands for country is Nigeria. For the states, Lagos. For the local governments, I'm using Ikeja, local governments. And for the O stand for the organization, I'm using the best tech. Then for the CN, it's a root certificate. Then I want this file to be created as rootca.pem. That's the file I want to create. So quickly for this subject, you can modify it to suit your own. You can be in US, type the country you have, the states you have in the US, your local governments, or maybe they don't call it local governments, your region or your province, state it, and the organization you want, you can state it. But the CN, let it be this way. I think so. You can make change to this from here to there, and okay. So let's go ahead and do our signing. So I'm going to this one. I have to copy it from here to here. I can't. If I copy everything, I'm going to have an error. So I have to copy it one by one. Copy. So what I'm trying to do now is to create a temp file. Copy, paste. So then the next thing I'm going to copy from that subjects because the greater that sign is already there. So don't copy from greater that sign because you are going to have an error. Be careful. So you copy it because typing it one by one that's another work which I don't want you to go through because this is just the certificates. The SD-WAN, we've not really started the SD-WAN itself. We are just still preparing the lab. So we don't need to go through rigors for us to do this. So then they would see them. I copy it and paste. So our pen files should be available now. So we have created our root CA pen file has been created. So the next thing for us to do is after we have created this file, I want it to be installed in other controllers too. I want it to be present in the other controllers once I've generated it. So I want the pen files to be transported or copied to the other controllers. And for you to copy this, you have different methods. I can decide to go to Bismart, then go to Visual, or go to the Linux on Visual list, then maybe create the file by using nano, using the pen file. Let me just say, what's the name of that file? root ca.pen. Or let me just test something. Let's just say test dot pen then sorry, let me try. I don't think this guy recognize normal. Okay, let's just continue. We don't want us to take us through that so that we don't waste our time. So I'm going to be using SCP to transfer our file. The SCP is Secure Control Protocol. SCP is Secure Copy Protocol. So that's what I'll be using to copy the pen files from Visma to V1. This is possible because I already have the protocol. The protocol that I'm going to be using here is SCP and is using port 22, and I've allowed all services. So because I have reachability to 100.2, remember that 100.2 is the V bond. This guy is the V bond. This guy is for the Vismans. So I can just copy this. So what I want to do is I want to copy from the vmanage. I want to copy this root ca.pen file. Go and copy it to 100.2. Put it in the home/admin directory. Say for instance, if you're in this maths now, the first one I want to do is debond. Let's run. So if I go to Visual, then I list So if you do your P, okay. Yeah. So let's look at the directory we are, our working directory, pwd. You can see that we're /home/admin. That's our working directory. So, and okay, that is the directory we are. You can see that the only thing under this directory is archive ID, but I want to remove that pen file there. The IP for this guy is 100.2. So that is why I will copy this guy, move pen file to 100.2. Copy it. It's copying. Then you move it to the VBond. I made a mistake here. So you know the mistake I made is that I'm doing it from vmanage, not from the VBond. So it's vmanage that helped me to transfer that. So it's going to tell me, are you sure you want to continue? And I will say yes. And then it's going to ask for the password of 100.2. Then I'll put the password. So it has transferred the file. So you can see the file has been transferred. So I'm going to do the same thing for, okay. I'll do the same thing for the vmanage. I'll go and copy. So it has copied for both of them. So let me go and check for VBond. Let me check list. The file has been copied for vsmart. Let's check list. So we can see the root CF10 file is there. Transfer the file. So the next thing is to install it. Once you've transferred the certificates, then you have to install the certificates. So we are installing these root certificates here. So before we install, let's check something. I want you to check root certificates. You use show certificates OCA set. Then you type include maybe any name that is present in that certificate name when you are doing your when you are creating it. So for the vmanage, so we know that it will not work on this node. So we'll go to privilege mode. That's something that shows that if you say show certificate to certificates, there's nothing like the best there. You can see it's even that much. So you are not seeing anything like the best here. That's why you can't filter it. You can't see anything like the best. You can't see anything like Africa. Because I know that I have Africa as part of the team in my certificates. I have Lagos. Can't see anything like that. So for us to install this is just the command we need. Say, request root change install. So go and install whatever is, go and install this file inside the file inside this directory home/admin. Go and install it. So copy it. So it's the same command on all of them. Knowing fully well that we are installing the same file. We are installing the same file. Copy. So go to vmanage, paste. I'm done with vmanage. VBond. Go to your privilege mode. Do that. vsmart. Go to your privilege mode. Do that. That is installed. So we've installed our certificates. And for us to verify this, let's quickly do our verification again. The other time I want to verify, we are trying to check, do we see anything like, sorry. Do we see anything like, think something like, okay, the best. Okay, inside the best, I have Lagos. Oh, that's why it's not filtering it. The Lagos is capital letter. I use Lagos to filter it. What other thing? You can use the organization name. You can use the Ikeja, which is my local government. I use the country, which is AG. So I use it to filter it. From this, we can see that, this guy is present. So let's quickly check that in all our. Okay, next thing. We are done with the root certificate. So the next thing is going to our self-signed certificates, or we call it identity certificates. going to our self-send certificate or our identity service certificate. So for us to do that, for our controllers, for controllers, the way we generate certificates is different from the way we do it for VH. I think we have a slight difference, particularly when it comes to the self-signed certificates. So quickly, for us to do that, we open our controller. Okay, this is the controller where we go to admin settings. Let's see what we have. Okay, this is what we have for the admin settings. We are going to configure the organization name, and we are going to configure the VBond. Those two things will be configured. So let's do it. This is the organization name. I copy. Don't forget. This is the name we use for our organization. Copy. The _tech is what we use. Okay, you have to confirm that. Then you save. Okay. I hope you guys remember the IP we use for the VBond. The IP we use is 192.168.100.12. Then you save it. Then the next thing now is controller certificate authorization. You come in and you change it to enterprise. By default, it was on Cisco automated on your Oman. I can't remember, but we change it to enterprise. Then from enterprise, you copy and paste your certificate, the certificate we created. So go back to Vision. So list. So this is the certificate we created, UCA.pen. So this is the certificate. So you copy it. Please, when selecting, start from the origin, from the begin to the end certificate. So you copy it, and you're going to paste it there. So this stuff, I just copy and paste. It's very easy because I'm using my PC to manage the vManage. I can manage it from my PC. That's why it's very easy for me to just copy like that. So I'm not going to set this one now. I will save. Let's look at what we have here. So we can save control certificate authorization, then you save. So let's save this. Next thing is import and save. Okay, that has been saved successfully. Let's go to let's check again. Cisco controller certificate authorization is now enterprise. And you can have a view. You can see this is the certificate with your copying. So the next thing for us to do now is to go to configuration devices. So we are going to add those other controllers. We are going to add them manually. So I'm going to start with VBond. I'm going to add it. You remember the IP address 192.168.100.2. Username. So username is admin and password is admin. I'm going to add it. That's for my VBond. Then I'm going to add the vSmart 100.3. Who made mistake with the IP? Admin. Then you put the password. Admin. I see the protocol we are using is DTLS. We are not generating CSR yet. Then you had it. So we have been able to add other guys. But there is no the thing has not synced yet because we can see not installed. Certificate status is still yet not installed. So we are not done. We are not done. Even for vManage, we've not installed certificate because we've only done for roots. So we've not completed what we are doing. So let's go ahead. Let's do that. So the next thing for us to do now is let's get to the next. What is the next thing? We'll be able to add all of them. So the next thing is we have to generate self-signed certificates. That's the next thing. We have to generate the self-signed certificates. Sorry, self-signed request, not a certificate. We have to generate a request. So this request will now be signed by the certificate authority. Remember that our vManage is our certificate authority. So let's go to self-signed request. Let's go on. So you click on this. Sorry, you go to your certificates. Configuration comes to certificates. Controllers. Then you come here and you generate CSR. Generate CSR. So CSR has been generated for this guy. Generate it. I'll come here. Generate CSR. So once I generate it, you can see CSR generated. It was nothing is there before, but you see CSR generated. Come here and generate it. And you see CSR has been generated. You can see generate CSR. So the next thing is to upload certificates, and the last thing is to update vBond, because vBond is the one that will authorize all of them so that the DTLS found out. Come on. So for we have generated the GET request for the certificate authority. So after, if we have done that, then we have to copy them and make sure, because let's quickly and make sure, copy them and bring them to vManage, because if you come to vManage, sign out the certificates. I mean, to sign all the requests. Now the certificate signing request. That's the next thing for us, is to do the signing for CSR, certificate signing request. So how do we do this signing? So I've made everything this here. Just open Harry requests. So this is the guy I want to sign. Copy. I want to sign the vManage request first. vManage. So everything will be signed on this vManage, because that's our certificate authority. Take note, vManage is serving the role of the vManage on its own, and is doing the certificate authority too. Please, let's be careful so that we don't mix it up. So that's why you need to still sign this vManage CSR. Press enter. Copy this. If you look at the second line, you have the initial root key is there. The pen file, root.ca.pen file is there. That's the CA. Then the CA key, certificate authority key, is root C8 key is there. Then we are going to create, it's going to help us to create a serial number this time around. So we'll do the creation. vManage. Let's just follow. So whatever it is being done is going to be sent to vManage.crt. So that is the new file we are creating. And the new file we are creating is we are using SHA-256 with 500 days validity, 500 days validity copy. So the new file is this vmanage.crt. That is the new file. Then you press enter. So it has actually created it for us. So if you type ls, so you can see the new file, vmanage.crt. That's the new file, the new file that we just created. So we are going to, that's where we have signed it. We are able to sign the request now. So we are doing the second signing. The second signing is for the vsmart, you can see. So we copy this. Okay. To this guy. Press enter. Then copy this. Okay. Then the last one. Oh, okay. Copy. Okay. I think I've made a mistake. If you look at it, you can see the double greater sign. So let me see. Let's try and exit and do this thing again. So let me copy. Let me do it again. And I have to be careful because I'm doing for vsmart. Okay. Let's see if there's any mistake. It will affect the details from coming in. But this for vsmart. I'm doing for vsmart now. So let us pay attention together. So I'm copying this guy. I'm going to copy it from the CA then copy. And I paste that. Then the last thing is we'll send it out to this new file CRT. Okay. Validity 500 days. So this is for vsmart, and that will be done. So we have two CRT now. Look at it, vsmart CRT and vmanage CRT. So we don't have vbond CRT yet. We only have vbond CSR. So let's quickly do vbond CRT. So we are using our open SSL. Copy this guy, vbond CSR. There you for vbond first. Then we copy this root CA key, copy. May paste. Dot pen file. Then the last guy is 256. That's for vbond. So we have signed everything. So we have our CRT now. So let's check. We have our certificates now. So let's check the next step for us to do. The next step is step 10 is to transfer the certificates to the GUI. So we have to install it. If you look at it like the root certificate, we store it directly on the CLI, but this one to be installed on the GUI. So we have to copy each of them and install the certificates. We are going to copy each of them. And how you cut it, then you copy and paste. Look at it, paste, then you install. So by the time we finish our installation, we expect all our controller to come up. Well, let's do that. In doing this, we have to be careful, no mistake. So we are starting with the vmanage CRT. So I'll copy this. Then I will go to the controller. I'll go to the controller, and for my vmanage, this is my vmanage. I'm going to say install certificates. You can see that is vmanage that is selected. I'm going to paste it, then install. So the installation is ongoing. So it's currently being installed. So I'm doing the installation. You can drop this guy down. You see the process is going through. So it's going to check all the process. So the next thing I would love to do is I would love to install vbond, but I think we'll prefer to install the vbond first, because it's the guy that will authenticate all of them. So I'm going to cut my vbond CRT. Let's be careful. CRT file is what we are. A file with the exception of CRT is what we are dealing with. So vbond CRT. Then you begin, copy this, cut vbond CRT. Then, so this one is successful. I say success. Let's look at what we have here and look closely. A new certificate serial number has been generated at the end of the day. So go back to your configuration certificates, controllers. Wow, see, we don't have this serial number here before, but now we have it. It was no certificates installed before, but now we have the serial number. So let's do for vbond install certificates. We'll paste it, install. So the process is ongoing. So as the process is ongoing, let's copy the last guy, which is the vsmart cards. Vsmart CRT. This guy is successful. Certificates, controllers. So you can see being installed. We have our serial number. Wow, look at the system IP. Just pick the system IP itself, 2222. So we'll do the same thing for vsmart. We click here, we drop this guy down. Let's make sure you drop this guy down. By dropping it, that's going to select it, vsmart. Then you click on install certificates, then you paste it. Then you click install. So certificates will be installed. So after this, we expect all our controllers to be up. We expect all of them to be up. Then we'll have those devices. Wow, this is successful. So we'll go to configuration certificates, controllers. So you can see all of them are now up 222, 333, 111. So you can see that it's one that dictates all these things, or the system IP automatically. It's the one that it detects everything automatically after we do that, after it is or it was installed. So if we now go to our dashboard, main dashboard, let's see what we have on this one. Can you see we have our vsmart is up, our vbond is up, our vmanage is up. We have our dashboard 1, 2, 3 are up. So let's check what we have here. So let's check something. The other time when we say show control connections, you can't see anything, but let's check our control connections now. So we have our control connections all here. So you can see this guy is now connected. So this is our detailless funnels now. They are actually up. So and that is why we have our vbond, our v. So even from this vmanage now, we can manage the vsmart and the vbond, because if you go to devices under the controllers, they are there, they are present. You can manage them. They are manageable. Add something. going to call this thing the best underscore this month. I can see the Vsmart ID here. I'm just the reason why I'm doing this is we'll still get to template, but I just want to show something that my vmanage can manage all those guys because the DTLS tunnels is all. They have been integrated into the fabric fully. So you can see, can you see my vmanage, Can you be the system IP? Can you see the site ID? I'm doing this from the GUI, not even from the CLI now. I can check the configuration, even right from here. Can you see? With the help of templates, I can see that here. But today is not our discussion for templates because we've not really integrated our edges. But I just want to show you what's the advantage we have now, what we have done so far. So that's all our controllers are up. Is there any other thing we can check? Let's go to our Vsmart. Say show control connections. So you can see the connection from Vsmart to vmanage. You can see 111. But we can't see 222. The reason why we can't see 2222 is because 2222, once the DTLS tunnel is it's a temporary DTLS that is always great. Once it's been authenticated, it will tear it down. So those are the places. You can see vbond. Show control connections doesn't work on vbond. Rather, what we use is show orchestrator connections. So you can see that it starts pairing with both 333 and 111 on these ports 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the port number for your DTLS. But basically, you can see the protocol, DTLS protocol. So, but basically, outside this, there's another thing you can check. Let's go to this guy. Our verification, show control connections. Another command is show local properties. So from the show local properties, you are going to see the validities here. Show control local properties. So from this show control local properties, you are going to see that, the certificate status is installed. And the certificate validity is actually valid. It's valid. So these guys, you can see valid with May 12 to September 24. Yes, 2026. See the year. No, it shows 500 days. So you can see 2025 to 2026. If you count the number of days, it will be 500. So you can see the serial number. The serial number has been generated too. So that is that's on our controllers. So the next section we'll be talking about integrating our V edges. That's the next thing we'll be discussing about, integrating our V edges. Yeah.